Hi, I decided to start a vlog or video blog because I really enjoyed watching other people share their experiences with what they were going through, and I thought I would do the same, not only for my own record, but for friends, family, and for other people that may end up going through this. My name's Francine, and I am 55 years old. I have been a diabetic for about a year on insulin, but everything is controlled. Standard 55-year-old health issues, but nothing too severe. About 3 weeks ago, I'm guessing around April 25th, I noticed my left ankle was a bit swollen and confirmed it with my husband. Do you see this swollen? And he said yes. So after about 2 days, it didn't go away, and I decided to send a note to my doctor. I had a physical scheduled for a week and a half later, but I wasn't sure if it was something that I should wait for or go in ahead of time. She did respond back, say that I should come in. They have a nurse practitioner who's just started and she's available. So I went in on April 28th. She instructed me to stop one of my blood pressure meds, the triamterene hydrochlorothiazide, which was a very small dose, and just to keep an eye on my blood pressure and make sure it didn't go up, and it really hasn't. She also suggested that we do an ultrasound to make sure that there wasn't a blood clot. So they had that scheduled for the next day. I went in, very optimistic that it was just some kind of infection, and she said, the technician said that they don't diagnose there, which is understandable, but if they saw a blood clot, they would not send me home. They'd send me to the hospital. So she sent me home onto work, and the doctor called, or a technician or nurse called later in the day and said that they did not see any blood clots, but they did notice that my lymph nodes in my groin were swollen and recommended a CT scan. This would require pre-approval from insurance and would take about a week. So we scheduled it for a week and a half out. So this was a Tuesday or Wednesday. So I was going to have it a week from the following Thursday. I did have to have some blood work done, creatinine draw before the dye. And I have had an issue last February with the creatinine going really high for no apparent reason, but then in 30 days, additional tests showed it came back down. So I don't know if this had anything to do with what was to come or not, but that'll be a good question for me to ask. So I went and saw my physician, my regular physician, for my physical and annual PAPs or 3-year pap smear, and she said everything looked good, but she was a little concerned that it was taking so long to go in for the CT scan, and she said, let me see what I can do. And she was able to get me in at 2 o'clock on that Monday, which was May 9th. So I went in for the CT scan, drank the cocktail, the smoothie wasn't too horrible, did the dye. That evening she called me at home, my doctor, and said that they did see that there were some swollen lymph nodes in my left groin, and that she would put a recommendation in for a surgeon to call me and set up an appointment to discuss why they might be swollen and why they might be clustered. So I wasn't exactly sure what any of that meant. I did do a little bit of research on the internet, and of course, tried to figure out what it was, but I'm just not a person that has serious injuries. I'll have a sprained ankle and not a break, or a virus and not the flu. So I went in to the surgeon last Wednesday, and he did not pull any punches. This is the first time anybody mentioned cancer, and he just threw it out there without much of a bedside manner. But I guess if I'm going to be told, I should be told straight out exactly what's going on. We looked at the CT scan, and if I knew how to embed a picture, I would. Maybe we'll figure that out later. But there was a very large mass on the left side of my groin, and it was pushing my uterus and my bladder over, which explained why I had lots of issues going pee all the time. But he basically said my first three guesses are lymphoma, lymphoma, and lymphoma. So I really wish I had had maybe a heads up that my husband ought to be with me instead of having to handle this all by myself. But, you know, my attitude is, okay, that's what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. Let's move forward and see what it is, what we need to do, and get on with treatment or whatever it is that will be recommended. He scheduled surgery for the following Tuesday. So this was Wednesday, and now tomorrow is the surgery. They're going to remove an entire lymph node for the pathology. He talked about putting a port in for the chemo, but after some questions about insurance, we decided to wait on that because it may not cover it, given that there isn't an actual official diagnosis of lymphoma until they get the pathology back. Told family, a few family members, but at this point in time, you know, we don't know what it is. And I think there are more questions than answers. And of course, there will be more to come. So tomorrow I'm having the lymph node removed. I feel fine, maybe a little bit tired. I've had no night sweats, no fevers, no tiredness. Of course, now that I know that there's something going on, I'm looking for every little sign. To me, it feels like there's a little bit of pressure on my left side, a stronger urge to need to go to the bathroom. It feels a lot like menstrual cramps, but you know, I'm 10 years out of that, but I still remember it. So I will continue to do a video log. I think it's a great way to, or video blog, a great way to keep track of what's going on, along with maybe writing a journal. It's a good way for friends and family, and those that may be going through this can follow my journey and recovery and optimism and humor. And I accept all the prayers and the well wishes, and we'll see what the future holds, and we should know more by the end of the week. Hopefully it's contained and treatable. So thanks, and see you soon.